A sense of urgency in a mock drill today after a tragedy strikes a movie theater in Colorado. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Villone. Thank you for joining us. Well, the deadly shooting at a movie theater in Colorado has left 12 people dead and 53 injured. As investigators sort through the evidence and try to figure out why the 24-year-old gunman opened fire at the midnight showing of Batman, first responders here in the county practiced for similar emergencies. Denise Douglas is joining us now to explain.
Well, hi there, Patty. You know, it is always a challenge for police, they say, to respond to such scenarios as what happened in Colorado. I mean, there's so much uncertainty in terms of how many victims, the suspect, is the person still armed or not, but they are ready and trained regularly for scenarios like that, as we saw today.
As a helicopter hovers overhead, officers rush into Henry Wise High School to arrest a hostage taker barricaded inside. The
goal really is to mitigate this as quick as we can, and one of the strategies we do is we do a multi-pronged approach for containment, to contain that individual so no more harm comes to the innocent people.
It's a mock exercise meant to train officers to respond to such scenarios, the type of emergency police and other first responders faced when 24-year-old James Holmes allegedly opened fire at the midnight showing of the Batman movie at a theater in Aurora, Colorado. This video off of YouTube shows the panic as people ran out of the theater after the shooting.
Prince George's County joins communities from across this country in extending our most heartfelt condolences to the victims and the families of the victims in Aurora, Colorado.
Assistant Chief Kevin Davis also reassures the public that officers here are always prepared for such a tragedy. In fact, they have stepped up patrols at about 12 theaters in the county.
We're aware of the showtimes associated with the movie involved in this incident, and we're making contact with the managers and the ownership of our movie theaters to ensure that they're aware that they will be seeing more police officers in and around their movie theaters.
And he says they will continue to be vigilant at other sites.
As we mentioned before, the training exercise had already been planned, just did happen to fall on the day of the tragedy in Aurora. Officers train about twice a year for this type of mass casualty. That was exactly what we saw today.
And what are police telling you about trying to prevent tragedies such as this?
Obviously, it is hard to prevent because no one knows when somebody is going to just do something of this nature. But at the same time, the assistant chief used a phrase that he's hoping people kind of hold on to. If you see something, say something. So no matter if it's a little thing or a big thing, just go ahead and report it to police and they'll check it out.
Yes, you never know. All right, thank you, Denise. Well, today's presidential events were canceled because of last night's shooting, but are residents still feeling safe enough to enjoy a day out at the movies? Victoria Brinkley was in Bowie today asking moviegoers if or how the shooting impacted them.
We're here at Regal Cinemas near Bowie Town Center, where viewers are still anxious to see Dark Knight Rises.
I read about it on Twitter, and I just thought, it was tragic and it's sad that someone would take something like this, bring people out, they want to have a good time, they go and have to be subject to violence like that.
Well, it's a tragedy. It's just a shame that that sort of thing goes on, and we're becoming immune to it in a lot of ways.
Even before the shooting, some Batman fans opted to wait until daylight for various reasons.
I don't go out at night too much anymore. Like I said, I go to the movies, the matinee movies.
It's just because it's crowded during the midnight showing. So.
Did your plans change at any time, after seeing this report?
The plans didn't change. We didn't have any specific plans. This was a spur-of-the-moment thing, and we decided to come see the movie, and it didn't scare us away or anything.
I don't believe in living scared like that, thinking, oh, it happened over there, it might happen over here, but it's. When I read about it, it was kind of in the back of my mind while I was here, but no, nothing happened. It's
something to think about, and you just hope there's no copycats or anything like that. And I understand that that's a fear, but that's the times we live in, and that's a shame.
If fans were deterred, that's apparently not the case here. Because foot traffic is still heavy at Regal Cinemas here in Bowie. Victoria Brinkley, CTV News.
And there are at least 10 more screenings of the movie today at the Regal movie theaters, and Dark Knight is playing as scheduled in other theaters across the region. Well, a special General Assembly session remains in limbo as state leaders in Annapolis continue to work on a bill to expand gaming in Maryland. Meanwhile, a coalition of citizens and clergy wants to stop slots from coming to Prince George's. Today, members held a protest in Upper Marlboro, and Rochelle Metzger is there with a story.
Local faith leaders and citizens who oppose gambling say their voices are not being heard. And this morning they took to the steps of the county administration building, calling on state lawmakers to boycott a special session if Governor O'Malley calls legislators back to Annapolis to discuss bringing a sixth casino to Prince George's County.
Prince George's County has gone from a public corruption scandal, locking up elected officials, to now embracing organized crime.
The group of citizens and clergy is few, but represents many who oppose a casino at National Harbor and giving a tax break to potential operator MGM Resorts International.
They want to deliver a 15% tax cut to people who don't need that tax cut, millionaires and mobsters. MGM Resorts International, the global casino company who has come and is trying to woo the community, has been kicked out of the state of New Jersey.
County Executive Rashawn Baker is pushing for the local slot site, which a spokesman says will generate much-needed jobs and revenue.
If this moves forward, there would be a tax structure that would be set up for all operators. So all operators would have the exact same tax structure. Today it's 67%, but it could be something else potentially. If it did change, what that would allow would be for more investment by all of those operators, which would, in the case of Prince George's County, would create a situation where there would be more investment in the property.
Hudson adds that state officials have taken the tax issue off the table for now.
That would be something that would be either decided by the legislature or the Gaming Commission.
A number of years ago, he stood in opposition to any increased form of gambling in Prince George's County. Now there's been a reversal of position, largely because he felt that he had to find some ways to increase revenue. Our contention is that there are other means to do so without creating greater social ills in the county.
This is an issue where there's always going to be opposition. The county executive understands that. I think we all understand that. The referendum is about letting everyone have their voice in this.
Governor O'Malley spent the week working out the details of a proposal that would authorize table games as well as expand gambling in Maryland. He is considering whether or not to call a special session. He says he'll make his decision in the next 7 to 10 days. From Upper Marlboro, I'm Rochelle Metzger, CTV News.
And today, the Public Service Commission is expected to announce if Pepco will receive the 4% rate increase proposed for customers. On Wednesday, Maryland regulators discussed the adjustments that could soon be put into place at their meeting. Customers could possibly see a change in their bills if the Montgomery County energy tax rate is adjusted. And Prince George's, along with the surrounding counties and the district, is under a flash flood watch this evening. Widespread and excessive rainfall at the rate of 1 to 2 inches per hour is expected until 11 p.m. Officials report that areas near creeks and streams can quickly rise out of their banks and flood low-lying and urban areas. Residents who have already been affected by recent rainfall are also at extreme risk. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Villone.